Hi, everyone. My name is Cristina Cortaria, and I'm here today with my colleagues Hector Correa, James Griffin, Anna Hidley, and Trey Pendragon to present the latest Blacklight updates from Princeton University Library. We currently use 8 Blacklight applications in the library. The catalog is used to serve bibliographic material and allow patrons to request items. The Maps portal is a Geo Blacklight instance and the front end for Geo resources. Figgy is the backend digital repository. Pufalight is an ArcLight instance and the new Finding Aids library website. The digital PUL is a Spotlight instance. It holds the digital collections and online exhibitions at PUL. The digital Chicken Yara library is an open access collection of the early literature of the arts. LAE, the digital archive of Latin American and Caribbean ephemera. And DSS, Data and Statistical Services, provides data and statistical consulting. Next slide. Across all the Blacklight applications, we use Blacklight version 7 and Solar 8 in production, Ruby version 2.6, Rails 5.2, and Node.js 12.22.1.
So we've spent a big part of the past year migrating our library management system from Voyager to Alma. This involved a complete rewrite of our middleware application that sits between the LMS and our Blacklight catalog, which handles indexing as well as providing an API for real-time lookups and updates. So where before this functionality was written to use Voyager's database directly, now we're using Alma's API services. For indexing, we've moved from pulling the MARC records out of the Voyager database to pulling files from an SFTP server via an AWS Lambda that listens for Alma's webhook event. There were also changes to the shape of some types of data, which required us to update our show page logic in the Blacklight catalog directly, for example, to ensure that our electronic resource links and our related record links continued to work.
This year, we introduced 2 enhancements to make our catalog more inclusive. One of these changes was to replace archaic and effective subject headings with inclusive and representative headings. The second enhancement is the addition of Indigenous Studies subject heading to some of our records to increase their discoverability. Next slide. The example in this screenshot shows a record that used to display illegal aliens as one of the subject headings. Now it displays instead undocumented immigrants. There are many subject headings that we're planning on replacing in the coming months, but this one is already in production and shows the general idea. Next slide. The second change that we made involves adding a completely new subject heading, in this case, Indigenous Studies, to many records. We did this to increase their discoverability. In the example in this screenshot, notice how we kept the original subject heading, Indian Children, North American Fiction, and added Indigenous Studies to the record. Because of this work, there are a large number of records that are now discoverable via the Indigenous Studies term. Again, this work is different from the previous example because we're adding a new subject heading rather than replacing the old one.
Regarding the infrastructure which is used in order to support the indexing of MARC records into the Solar indices backing our discovery infrastructure, there were a number of different improvements that were introduced. Firstly, there was the implementation of an index manager that essentially just ensured that one day's database data dumps from the backend were synchronized before doing the next. There was also integrated the support for Sidekick Pro batch functionality, which essentially ensured that indexing of records could be done in parallel rather than in sequence, as previously was the case, and greatly improving performance. There was adjustments made for optimizing the sharding of the different Solar collections. And for our Solar cloud infrastructure, it was necessary in order to provide greater processing power to our Solar cloud cluster, moving from 2 shards to 3 replicas. As a result, all of these improvements ensured that we reduced our time for indexing from 3 days to 2 days for re-indexing all of our digital resources within our online catalog service. Slide, please.
This year, we've launched Pulphalite, which is our customization of ArcLight for our finding aids site. You can find it at findingaids.princeton.edu. It includes a number of customizations to ArcLight, such as table of contents on the left-hand side, a bunch of work to make Aeon requesting work. You might see that little shopping cart in the top right-hand corner, as well as a variety of adjustments to indexing to be able to support our EADs that come out of archive space. We're still continuing to add things to this, but we're feeling pretty happy with it so far. Another piece of work that we've done is we've spent the last 6 weeks or so upgrading DeepL, which is our Spotlight instance, also known as the Digital Princeton University Library. We've gone from Spotlight 2.13 to 3.0, which included also a Bootstrap upgrade and a Blacklight upgrade. As part of that, we've added a command to automatically mirror our production data for Postgres, Solar, and images to staging, which we'd be happy to talk about or share. And we can share any experience with how much effort it's taken us to do that migration. It took us 6 weeks and approximately 4 FTE over that time period. You can see our nice little diff here for the pull request, and it was just merged.
A big thank you to everyone for their contributions.